So last week I had posted a video and I realized I have not even shared with you what Build Your Arsenal really is. So for the last several months, about 4 months or so, I've been working on a book called Build Your Arsenal, a guide towards mental health, depression, and anxiety. And my main focus has been, as an educator for the past 10 years, I have seen this growing amount of anxiety and depression within my students. Dealing with depression my entire life, I'm a very vocal advocate within the classroom to talk about what my experiences have been with it. In fact, I talk about my depression on day one. It's like, hey, here's the class and I suffer from depression and here's an open door. And I realize that that is actually one of the most connected pieces that I have with the students that I engage with in my class. I've had these ideas to write this book for several years, but recent circumstances in my life, I just realized more important now more than ever, this needs to happen. And so far throughout all of the research and everything that I've done, I've come up with 6 arsenals that have kind of been these pillars for what the book is containing. And they're short stories. I'll be introducing you to some of the things that I've gone through within my own life. But mainly what it is just a giant collection of other people's research. I'm not a doctor, I'm not a psychologist, I'm not any of those things. I'm simply an educator. I can take what other people do, put it into a simpler format, and hopefully make it easier to digest so you can make applications into your own life. And so what I've done is take these things down. Now the first one, there's 6 of them, like I said, they are faith, community, mindset, experience, health, and education. And each one of those, it's not one of those things like you have to do this one first or this one second. It's kind of all together. We realize that mental health is trying to be created into a whole framework. Listening to it and realizing, oh, that can be that thing that they're talking about right there can be definitely put into my mindset and my ideas and my beliefs, and trying to grow myself mentally. There's so many different things. So I'll talk about the first one, which is faith. I believe that is the foremost of all of our things, because what faith does for us, it gives us hope for what it is. Now, personally for me, I'm a Christian, and it was the first arsenal that I applied into my life, because it was like the thing that stopped me from almost committing suicide when I was in high school and in middle school. And it keeps coming back to these things, but there's so much evidence supporting what the community and faith can kind of bring towards an individual. And the second one is community. It's the groups of people, it's your closest friends, your family, your social groups, and how important those actually are, and having more positive communication within those groups, or having ideas or experiences. And we're gonna kind of see, you'll kind of see within some of the videos, it'll say community and experience. And I'll talk about some of the things that I've done within the classroom and whatnot to kind of go into that. Mindset. Mindset is the biggest thing I think you'll hear anyone talk about recently, and it's fantastic. There's fixed mindset, growth mindset. You know, are we in a position where we think what's happening to us, we're the only ones, or are we starting to realize that there's more? I mean, the evidence is supporting that 1 in 5 adults in America are going to have a mental health episode at some point in their life. And we're starting to see those numbers grow. Suicide is going to become the leading cause of death in our teenagers within the next few years. And that's absolutely terrifying. And we have to develop a different mindset, a belief about who we are as we're dealing with it. We're not less because we have depression or we have anxiety. What we're trying to do is build methods and ways so that we can identify, cope, strengthen ourselves, and make sure that we're able to process what it is that we're going through. And then the next one is experience. Experience is one of those things that every single time we have a new experience in our lives, we're able to grow from it. When we're younger and we have negative experiences with depression and anxiety, and it happens to us the first time, we shape our ideas around the first time that it happens to us. But as we have more and more experiences, we're able to better understand what it is that's actually happening to us. And as we're growing from that through that in that, we understand that there's different ways to handle everything that's going on. So having more experiences, doing the things that you really want to do. When it says like, oh, I'm somebody who is very outgoing and I love talking to people. Well, it's challenging yourself to continually do that, to go out and engage with people. Because for me and my depression, I'm a very outgoing individual and I have these identifying beliefs about myself. But if I don't live them out, then I'm like constantly questioning, like, is that really me? And so more experience, whether it be through travel, whether it be through just going and hanging out with different people, or man, just talking openly about the things that you're going through. The more that you trust it, the more that you open up to the right people, the more we're starting to see that there is a community of people who are actively engaging in these conversations, and it's absolutely beautiful. And then the last two are going to be health and education. Health is the whole mind-body connection, and it's what we're doing with our bodies and realizing that when we take care of our bodies better, we in turn take care of our mind better. There's so much evidence, so much research that I've kind of compiled, and I'll put together some of the studies, make them into some videos for you guys, of just like getting outside, getting vitamin D, exposing ourselves to sunlight, taking in enough water, going for a walk. It doesn't have to be strenuous exercise. It just simply can be walking in nature. Oh my God, the amounts of literature that are talking about just getting 20 minutes outside in nature, in a park, how vitalizing or revitalizing that can be to our soul, to our mental health. It's just incredible what people are doing with that research and how it's impacting our own struggles as well. And then the last one, which is going to go into all of these, which is education. It's learning about all these different things and putting mental health on a focus. The world and society, there's so many people who are talking about it, and they have such good ideas. They're bringing in doctors, they're bringing in actors, they're bringing in this, and people are starting to open up. And when we realize that we're not alone, we educate ourselves and realizing like, oh no, celebrities don't deal with this, but the amount of celebrities that have mental health. I mean, I know truthfully for me, when Robin Williams passed away or Anthony Bourdain, it was just a confirmation of, man, people really don't understand. They see that these people have these amazing lives and like, how can they be depressed? But that's not how it works. You can be surrounded, you can be in a career that everyone else wants, but you can still struggle. You can still have these moments where you're just suffering. Build Your Arsenal is a lifelong journey. It's one of those things that it's taken me several years since my first episodes when I was in middle school, all the way up until the point of this past year, that I've just realized like, man, some of these things have been developed or working through, and I'm just now starting to see the fruit. I'm just now starting to realize that things that should have affected me or would have really affected me when I was 15, 16, 17, now at the age of 30, just hasn't. But simply because for years and years, I've just kind of slowly put this stuff together. But I don't want that to be your story. I want it to be something that you're engaging with at 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, wherever you're at right now, is beginning the journey of your own understanding of who you are. Because your depression, your anxiety isn't something that defines you. It's something that's a part of you. And I don't look at my depression as something negative that when it happens to me, I'm angry or I'm bitter about it. I'm always kind of look at like, how can I process this? And so much of it is looking back on it and realizing very simply how appreciative I am of it. Because I appreciate the days that it isn't around. And the more I go out and I set forth a different path, the beauty that I see all around me is so much better. And that's what Build Your Arsenal is. So when we talk about it in weeks, I'm going to put it in different headers with the different stories and stuff like that. And all of it is, and I'm going to do a better job of putting in articles and everything like that. So you guys can go ahead and read them for yourself. I'll put those in the links and stuff down below. So when I do like this and I say, go to the links, there'll be some different stuff for that. And I want this to kind of be a community. I know most of you who are the earliest subscribers are my amazing, wonderful Blue Valley kids. And so if there's something that you guys are going through, shoot me an email and you want me to talk about, like, hey, what about social peer pressure? Or what about this? Or what about that? Put a comment down below. Okay. Sorry this video went a little bit longer. I promise they won't be these long ones, but I wanted to kind of let you know kind of where I'm at in the developmental process with everything that's going on here. Okay. 11 minutes, way too long. Love you guys so much. And I cannot wait to help you guys with this journey and just kind of do a lot of the research for you guys so that you guys can just jump right into it so you guys can build your own arsenal for your own lives. Thank you guys so much. Have a great day. Love you.